Hello and welcome back to the next Coptic lesson number 7. And before we get started here, let's just begin with a prayer. هنرفع مبيوت ونبشيري من بطن مطواب ونوتي نوت مين جي بنيوت تخلني في قوي معرف توون جي فكران مكبورو تاتي هناك معرف شوبي أنا فريتي خنت فا نمهي جن بيباهي كان أوي كنتراستي نيت نانم فوو وكان يتيرون نان إيفول أنا فريتي هون أنتنكو إيفول أني أتاون تان إرو ووام فرنتين أخوان بيرازموس الله مهمين إيفول هابيكت هو خان بخريستوس إيسوس بن شويس جتوك تاتي متورو من تيكوم من بيو شانين تنيين تيرانين أنا برانا مبيوت من بشيري أنت ابن المثواب ونوتي نوت أمين. Okay, so without any further ado, we'll get started here with the next lesson. So last time we left off, we're about to get started with the 7 short litanies, or excuse me, the 7 short litanies in the liturgy. So the priest begins with the following: Aritain and Inipsha, Tiren and Need. So Aritain. So remember we talked about the different forms of E. Let's see if I can find it here. Oops. And again, because we have the full form, then the imperative form, then the pronominal form, pre-pronominal form, etc. So in that example, we have the imperative form. So remember we talked about this before, right? Iri is the verb to do or make. Is like the pre-nominal form. So that's how you prefix it before a noun. Ait is the pre-pronominal form. That's how you prefix it for a pronoun. Oi is like the qualitative form. And arit is the imperative form. You add the suffix pronoun at the end of this. And in this case, it's ariten. So the n is as we typically see, is going to be the first person plural. So it means make us. And then also I left off one here. Ari is the pre-nominal form of the imperative. So Ari, like Ari, like we say Ari hu'u chas. So hu'u chas is like the noun, for example. So let's get back to the text at hand. So Ari 10. So make us. Make us what? We have the linking particle in, and then inipsha. Inipsha means to be worthy or fitting. So I'll show you guys how to use the Coptic dictionary. I pulled it up here, and hopefully most of you use this or have been using it. But this is the Saint Shenouda the Archimandrite Coptic Society dictionary. So typically, I'll just go to search, and you can put inipsha. And just find the next one. So you can find the noun here. That's the easiest way to search for it. Here it'll show you the Crumb. This is a summary of the Crumb dictionary. You can find it on page 179 of the Crum Dictionary. And A means it's going to be on the first column. B would mean it's in the second column. So if you want to look up the actual entry. So emipsha means to be worthy, worth, be neat, entitled, obliged, etc. So make us tiren. So when we talk about tiren, comes from like tiro, meaning all. And again, it's the same ne suffix, meaning the first person, excuse me, yeah, first person plural. Us worthy, all of us, or in other words, make us all worthy. Pen, need. Need is master. Pen, need is our. So our master, because it's an adjective. So again, just for what letter was the so the slash, okay. That's how you can search up words. So need, it's in the Lord. So here's the full entry. Okay, so page 221A of Crum. Noun. If you use the feminine, it means ti need, like Tim Choice and need tiren. You know, for example, it can be feminine too. It would be the mistress. So you can see all the different forms of it. Nib ahi. You know, ahi means like a life. So mastering your life or having a long life. That's a word that you come across occasionally. But anyway, I'm just kind of showing you how to use this dictionary here. So penni, our master. Chi evol. Khenni et awad and top. So make us worthy, make us all worthy, or our master. Then it's the preposition meaning to. Chi, remember it means to take. Evol khen, from in. Again, this is the further demonstrative with the relative setup. Again, this is the plural. To take from in those which are holy, with a web, in top of you. So make us worthy to partake of your holies. E hutuvo, for a, you know, the e again is going to mean two, but if, you know, in English we're going to understand this for. Then you have this, the indefinite article, singular. For a, tuvo. Remember, tuvo comes from a web, but it's the causative form because it's t, a web, or tuvo. You combine it. So for the purification or for the making holy. So you can look it up here if you want to get. To become pure, to make, to purify. Okay. For purification and te. Nin, again it's our, it says plural possessive adjective of the first person plural. Our, psiche. Psiche, remember we talked about psychology or psychosis, you know, has to do with the soul. Our still means our soul. nim, and nim, again, same thing, soma, and our bodies, nim, nin, epnipma, pneuma, the Greek word meaning spirit or wind. Hiena, so that, it's a Greek particle, it just means so that. And then we have it followed by the conjunctive, and then, remember we talked about the conjunctive is basically going to continue the previous tense. So sometimes when we have the Greek, it's followed by the conjunctive. And that's just by default, it's going to have the same tense indication as the Greek particle. So here we're just saying so that, shopi. Shopi means like to be or become. So you see it means to become. Hina intin shopi, so that we become. In usoma and uut, moving particle, then indefinite article singular. Soma, then body, so that we become one body or a body. And then in uut, and uut means one, so that we become one body. So in uut is specifying one. So uut means just single, alone, one. So taking it all together, so that in the conjunctive, so that we become one body. Nim, pnevma, and u. So same thing. Indefinite article, pnevma, u. So, and one spirit, intin geni. So again, it's a conjunctive again, so it's going to continue this. So that, okay, so now it's going to continue. So that we become one body and one spirit, and that we may geni. Geni means to find. So you're going to look up geni. It's best to look these words up. Instead of, when you're doing your work, because the more you look them up, you'll be able to figure it out and memorize them eventually. Okay, so geni means to find. That we may find in umeros. Umeros is a Greek word meaning like a portion, like the katameros, for example, is the the book that we have with all of the lectionary readings. Katameros is meros is like a portion, and kata in Greek means every, so every portion. So portion. Katameros is the name of the lectionary, so every portion or every share. Scale on one. And GK obviously the Greek word. Then we find a share or a portion. Nem u ekliros, and a, again, same thing, just indefinite article. Kleros is like an inheritance. So kleros. So that we may find an inheritance. I don't know if this is too small, actually. I don't know if I can make this bigger here. Yeah. Okay. Nim with, again, same thing. Niath oeb, again, the further demonstrative pronoun, plural, the relative in oeb, with those who are holy, tiro, all of them. Okay. It, that's the plural, of, simple past tense, third person plural, which they, ranak. Ranak is, this comes from the root meaning to please, rana, and then with the again, so the pre-pronominal form with the pronoun suffix of the second person singular masculine. So, which they have pleased you. So it comes from anai. The row in the beginning is probably just an ancient form of anai that just gets sort of shortened, most likely. I can't say that 100% sure, but most likely that's what it is. So, rana, so it's going to be ranai, ranak, etc. Ranan, and so on. Isgen means from or since. Ep ene, the eternity. So in other words, we can just say this is just from the beginning of time. So with those who are holy, all of them, so with all of your saints, et avranah, which they pleased you since the beginning. Ari if mevi if choice. Ari against the imperative we talked about back here, remember? We said Ari hu'u, Ari if mevi, Ari whatever, Ari anything. It's an imperative of iri. So do this thing, do the thought, or make the thought, if maybe. Or in other words, remember. Ib choice, the Lord. Remember, O Lord, it's the vocative. And ti hirini, the linking particle. And then ti hirini, Greek word meaning peace. Remember the peace. And te, of. Tik, your against the feminine, definite. It's the feminine possessive adjective. Ui is the feminine form of the word one. Remember, it's away is the masculine for one, and the feminine is owi. And the reason we're using the feminine now is because down here we're talking about ecclesia. Ecclesia is ti ecclesia. It's feminine. So that's why when we're talking about the one with all these different adjectives, it's all going to follow the same feminine because the church is ti ecclesia, so it's going to be tik owi. Because you have all these adjectives. Tik owi, you're one only. And mavats, remember we talked about mavats? The root of mavats is away. That's kind of where the root of it comes. You're one only, Eth-Oeb, which is holy, and Katholiki, Catholic, or Catholic means universal. So it doesn't mean like the Catholic Church, but it means like universal. You're one holy Catholic, and Apostoliki, and Apostolic, and Ecclesia. Ecclesia, again, if you know Spanish, Iglesia, that's where that word comes from. And actually, the root of the word church actually comes from, the word church comes from this. The k or ch sound, the r sound, and again the ch sound again, church. So if you can imagine how it's just kind of evolved through many different cultures. So church actually comes from ecclesia. Then the deacon responds with the Greek response. Blessed exhausti, pray, iter, for, agies, holy, monist, like mono, monophysite, or mono, whatever, just mono meaning one. Okay. For the Holy One, Catholic and Apostolic, Orthodox of, dual means of, God, Church. Especially one Holy Catholic Apostolic Orthodox Church of God. So even if you don't know the exact Greek grammar, you can just recognize all these vocabulary words and have some idea of what is being said. He allows the people respond, Kyrie eleison. Lord have mercy. Then the priest says, so this is feminine, demonstrative pronoun, because thai is talking about the church. Okay, this he's talking about the church that we were just talking about a minute ago. This, it again, is the relative which, ak, in the past tense, simple past, which you, igphos. So it comes from igpho, means to purchase or to acquire. To acquire. So this which you have acquired to you, evolhiten, through, and what means from, upon the hands, so, or in other words, through. The isnov, the blood. Isnov means the blood. It, tayot, which is honored, comes from the root word tayo, but this is the qualitative form of tayo, and it would be tayot, so that means this here has the quality of tayo, so this here is now tayot. Got it? That's what the qualitative means. So the blood which is honored, or the honored blood, and te, of your Christos, of your anointed, or of your Christ. So you can see here, this what you have acquired through the blood, or in other words, it's like almost saying like you have purchased it with the blood, with honored blood of your anointed, or your Christ. Are eros. Are means to keep or preserve. Eros, that's the direct object, so keep her. Chen uhirin, keep her in peace. In, again, it's indefinite article, so just peace, or in peace. Nim, and ni episkopos, the bishops. So you can see where the word bishop comes from. Bishops, right? Biskopos, bishops. You can see a bishop is actually very close related to episcopos. And just so you know, epi is a Greek meaning above or over, and scopus, like a telescope to see. So the bishop or the episcopos is the overseer. So that's what bishop means. Bishop means overseer. Episcopos. Tiro, all of them. Orthodoxos. So doxos again, this means glory. And ortho is like straight, like an orthopedic surgeon. They make the bones straight. Ortho, or right. So and the right glory or straight glory. That's what orthodoxy means. The correct glory or straight glory or right glory. So and all the bishops, Orthodox, it's enchit, which are in her. In short, men. So men means indeed. It's a Greek particle meaning indeed. Short means first. It's just the particle. In short, men. So indeed first. Ari, if maybe of choice. So we talked about remember, O Lord, make thought, O Lord. And pen, Makarios, and Yot, making particle. And then possessive adjective, pen, our. Makarios. Makarios is a Greek meaning blessed. And then again, the linking particle with Yot. Yot means Father. So remember, O Lord, our blessed Father, which is honored. So remember, O Lord, our honored and blessed Father. In Archiepiscopos. So Archi, again, Greek, it's like the archer, the archpriest or the archbishop, the first overseer or the foremost overseer. Episcopos, remember? Abba, and in this case, Toadros is the current one. Toadros, by the way, comes from Theodorus. Now I know that the latest Coptic reader has a slightly different text for this section here. So probably we'll just skip this section here. Because we don't really use this. This is outdated. There's so many. Hopefully one day they'll update this, but this is outdated. We don't really use this section here, so I'm just gonna skip over that part. So, and then the deacon responds again. Prosopexasti, pray, iper, for. Archi, ereos. Archi again, it's like arch, and then ereos is the priest. So the archpriest. Imon, our. So our archpriest. Papa Ava, Toadros. Papa, and Patriarcho. So Patri is father, and then Archo. Again, it's like from Archi, so in first father or forefather. Okay. Archiepiscopal we talked about. Tis Megalo, so Megalo is like mega, like a megaphone, mega and great. Poleos city. Alexandria. Keton, Adelphon. So Adelphon is the brother. Like Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Phila is love, and Adelpha is brother. So Adelpho, brother. Apostolic, Liturgia, liturgy. And Maria Ganotios. Right now it's Maria Ganotios from the second. Patriarcho, the patriarch of Antiochia and of Luna. Antonius, the Patriarcho, the patriarch of Ertri. Ketu, Sin, Kenono, so Kenono is like Kenonia. So what is Keonia? Partners. Sin, Keonia. So, sin is like the Greek word meaning like, or prefix meaning like, together. So it's kind of a sin Keonia, like a joint partnership in the liturgy. To Patros Imon, our father, the bishop or metropolitan of, in this case, for the Southern Diocese of Yusuf. Keton, Orthodoxon, or the Orthodox, Imon, us, bishops. Kyrie eleison. Okay, so that's in Greek, just again some run through of Greek vocabulary. Probably the most interesting thing is just remembering episkopon. That's where bishop comes from. Just think of it, episkopos, bishop. That's where that comes from. And then ecclesia, church. You can see how that probably transformed over the centuries and millennia. It's become the word church in the English. Nem and me, et short. So again, we talk about this over and over, the further demonstrative and the relative. Me et, and those which short evol. Short evol means sharply cut something. And I think it comes from, if I recall correctly, that's a verse from Hebrews. If I made wrong, I'd have to look it up to double check. But Nimni et shot evol, those who rightly divide, or it means to kind of sharply cut or sharply portion something. Mineth, with him, Raji, the word, and ti, meth, me. Remember, me means to be true or right. Meth, me is a state of true or state of being right. So the state of truth or the state of righteousness. So, and those who rightly divide with him the word of truth. Let's see, we can look it up here actually. We can figure out what verse it's in. Let's see if I can get into it from here. Pretty sure we can. Maybe I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I'll have to look that back up. Sorry. Chen, Hu, Soten. So Soten is like straight or direct. Something is wrong with the search feature here for some reason. We'll do for here. Just one more time. Yeah, I don't know what's acting up here. Sorry. Anyway, we can just put up the old-fashioned one. Maybe. Okay, well, let's figure out where the glitch is, but anyway. Sorry about that, just wasted a lot of time there. But anyway. And those who rightly divide with him the word of truth. Chen usotin, that's where the word rightly comes. Chen usotin, it's kind of like straightly or rightly. Ari chariziste. So chariziste is the Greek word meaning grace. So do grace. So that's what we say graciously. Or grant. M-O-U. Grant them. Remember this imperative, a verb to do. And then so do grace to them, or in other words, grant them. It can say at Oeb, your church, holy, your holy church. If Emoni means to shepherd. Or it means to kind of also can mean to like hold or grab something. It also means to shepherd. And the reason we know it's shepherd in this case is because pik ohi. Remember, ohi we said means to stand. But ohi is also means a flock. So like a flock that's standing there. It's like a flock of sheep. Is what ohi means. So again, with the present continuous of they shepherding your flock. Or in other words, they're holding your flock, but that means they're shepherding your flock. Then ohirim, in peace or peacefully. So grant them, your holy church, they shepherding your flock in peace. Ari, if made your choice, remember, O Lord, and ni higomemos, the higumens, then ni presbiteros, the presbyters. Presbyters is like the elders. Everybody means, presbyters is the priest, that's what it means. Orthodoxus or Orthodox presbyters. Then ni diakon and the deacons. And the deacon responds, pray for the higumens, prosvixasti eberton igomenon, ke e presbyteron, and the presbyters, ke diaconon, and the deacons, ke hypo diaconon, hypo, like hypothermia, or hypoglycemic means under, so sub-deacons, so that's what we say the deacons and the sub-deacons, because they're the under-deacons, and ipta, you may not know it, but ipta is hepta, it means seven, so like the Greek numbers like quadra and penta and hexa and hepta. So hepta means seven. Hepta, tagmaton, from tagma. So the seven orders of God, the Church of God. And then the people say again, kiroism. And nim, ref, remember ref means the doer of something. And then Shemshi means to serve. And the doer of serving, or the servants, Niven. So, and all the servants, Nim, and Ni, again the further demonstrative, those, Tiro, and those, all of them, Et, and then the relative, then it's a preposition meaning in, and all of those, Ren, T, that's a just definite article, and then Partheneia. Partheneia means the virginity, and all those who are in the virginity, Nim, and Utuvu. Remember, we talked about Tuvu, that means the purification, because it's the causative form of to be pure or holy, so it's causing it to be pure or holy, and the purification and piklaos of your people, tirf, all of him. The tirf is because this is a singular masculine, because this is singular masculine. Okay. And pistos. Pistos means the Greek word, pistos means faith. And all of your faithful people. Arif maybe of choice. Remember, O Lord, conjunctive. So it's going to add this tense here, which is the imperative. So remember, O Lord, have mercy on us all. And then ipso means together. Have mercy on us all together. If soap means like one instance, but if soap comes from u soap. If soap comes from u. But this gets combined to just if soap. So means at a time, or at one time, or together. So have mercy on us all together. And then the people respond, Ereisonimes. So it's a Kyrieleison. So have mercy on us, God, the Father, Patir, the Pantocrator. And the priest says after that, Ari, if maybe of choice, remember, O Lord, in it, sotireia. Sotireia is the salvation of empai, topos, of this, and the possessive or the demonstrative adjective. Topos, like a topography. You may have heard of topography, like a topographical map, for example. So of this place, which is holy, of yours. Or in other words, of your remember, O Lord, the salvation of this holy place of yours. Phi. So again, now we have the demonstrative adjective with the demonstrative pronoun. And so that means the priest is asking, saying for this place, this. So what does that mean? I mean, you can think of it like this very place of yours, which is holy. So it's kind of emphasizing not just this place, but this very place that we're in praying the liturgy right now. This very place. Nim and topos niven. Remember topos? Like topography, right? That means a place. And all places, niven means all or every. Nim, monasterion. You should be able to guess this one pretty easily. Monasterion is a monastery. Niven, and all monasteries. Ente of nin ioti. So iot is singular, iot is plural. So nin ioti, possessive adjective. First person plural. So and all the monasteries of our fathers and Orthodox. So all the monasteries of Orthodox fathers. The deacon says pray for the salvation of the cosmo. So cosmo, you may have heard like a cosmonaut or the cosmos. That's the Greek word meaning the world. So pray for the safety of the world. And Poleos. Poleos is a city. Imon, again, hour. Again, I don't know what any of these words here. And then Poleon, again, has to do with city. Horon is a region. Nison. Nison is like an island. And you know that because you've probably heard of like Polynesia, for example. Polynesia, so poly means many. And Nisos, or Nesia, is islands. Many islands. So you know Nison, Polynesia, many islands. So Nison is island. So in all those cities, districts, islands, que monastireo, and monasteries. Kyrie eleison. And I think that's probably good for today. We'll just remember where we left off. Thinking about the tropical islands. And otherwise, we'll continue with the rest of the litanies next time. And if you have any questions, feel free to let us know anytime. And otherwise, we'll conclude with prayer. هنفرعنا مليوت نمشيري نبب نم ثواب ونوتي نوت أمين جي بنيوت تخنك قوي معرف توبو ونجي فكران معرف إين جتك نتقورو بتهناك معرف شوفي فريتي خانت كا نمهي جنبي كاهي كان أويك انتراستي نيفنان أمفو وهو كان يتيرون نان إيفل an دنكو إيفل إني يتا أغنطان أرو أوام برنتين خون برازموس الله نحمين إيفل هافي كتهو عند خريستوس يسوس بنشويس جتوك تات نتقورو ننتيقوم نتيو شان تنين تيرامين هنفران مليوت نبشيري نبنما ثواب نتنوت. Okay, everybody, thanks for your attention, and until next time.